So, welcome to SEMeasy, guys. We're just going to go through real quick for anybody who is a new member or a free member that hasn't decided to jump on board yet.
Yep, and I see we actually have a bunch of free members in here today.
Cool.
Alrighty. So, what is this, Andy? What's SEMeasy? Or, just explain real quick.
Sure. Just kick me over to the next slide. We'll go through what SEMeasy actually is. SEMeasy was, let's see, Jake and I started SEMeasy. Actually, I had started SEMeasy a while back, and it was really my search engine optimization company. But what is SEMeasy today is really the right question. And really, it's just some cutting-edge SEO training, some weekly live training. Guys have access to the forum, some real-time chat, which you see everybody uses all day long. And then we have software. We have Double Agent. We have Index Assault. Double Agent allows you to monetize your websites really, really, really well. There's just a lot of different options that you can use with it, leasing methods, traffic funnel methods, all sorts of crazy stuff. And then Index Assault, which allows you just to index out your pages ridiculously fast. I did get one or two people over the last day that were like, it's running a little slow. Once again, Google's queue. And then there was also one case where it was where like the site had already been indexed. So Google was a little slow on that. But normally where it takes you months to get a site indexed out. We're able to get a site with 300,000 pages indexed out in like less than 5 days. Usually about 5,000 to 10,000 pages the first day. And then it just Google just continues to tear apart the site after that. So really, that's what SEMeasy is. I mean, SEMeasy is, it's myself, Andrew, and it's Jake. And Jake may be the world's greatest programmer, as I always refer to him as. And I've just been an old dog that's been around the game for a long time. And that's about it.
Yep.
I don't want to belabor the issue. If anybody is still unsure.
Yeah, if you're still unsure, check out the forum, and while you still can, we're going to be shutting out the free member access. We've got like somewhere around 3,000 posts in there now, so it's about time. And we have a great community already set up. What is it? It's about 450 now, almost 500 premium plus members. So
yeah, thereabouts, and about 2,000 members total. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it's floating around 1,600 actually, the total members. So hold on one second. I'm going to plug in some headphones here to cut out on any potential echo. One moment. But the site's become really popular, and it's we've spent really $0 on budgeting or $0 on advertising. So it's all been word of mouth. It's all been thanks to you guys, and we appreciate it. So I guess let's move forward. The reason you're all here today is the updates. First off, Double Agent reverted back that automatic 302 redirect and added in an option, just like I added in that option for someone's Frank. Your comments, they get me every time. They are constantly distracting. I should just minimize the questions right now. Anyway, the updates reverted back the 302 redirection to a optional redirect. Still has the bash code encryption and all that. You just have to enable it like the click checking feature. Just click the checkbox on the general options page and that will be enabled for you. And it works great if you're going through, I believe it's GoDaddy's URL shortener works alright. Bitly it has problems with, but that's not because of us, that's because of Bitly. And
actually, T.co works pretty well too. I think that's Twitter's.
Yeah, that's Twitter's URL shortener. That works great as well. But ultimately, we recommend you either duplicate your client site or your money site, or make a landing page and use that instead. I saw some member had a really cool setup where what they did is, we intended you guys to do this way back in the beginning, but it was just really complicated to explain. Was they created a page on the website itself. A landing page, and then they went into the control panel for Double Agent and ticked off the master disable box and used that page as their overlay. So they weren't even loading up an external site, but they made a really nice landing page with just that one page, used a special template, and it was just a great idea. But that's the update for Double Agent, and the other update was Index Assault. There was a small error in the code for the logic with the limiting of sitemaps on index assaults, nuclear, aim assist method. I'm not really going to bore you with the details. It was just a stupid mistake on my end, so I fixed that up real quickly. But I also added in, which was a popular request, on the bottom of index assault now, when you're running your actual assault and building the sitemap, you'll now be able to see each little, I guess, task. You'll be able to see a description of every single task being performed in real time. So you don't just have the spinning icons, and you don't need to be wondering, is this thing actually working, or did it stall out on me? It'll give you, account of all the steps that need to be performed for each action, and update you on which step is actually being performed at the time.
Hey,
So,
Jake,
yep.
real fast, I think there are some people out on the site, I guess right now, that are saying that they can't jump in because they're not premium members. Did we open this up for everybody?
I thought we did. There were a bunch of free members in here, but I may have made a mistake and locked it back up last minute. Let me double check here.
Sure.
I was on that post edit page, and you guys know SEMeasy.com is built off WordPress. I mean, if you've ever been on WordPress and had multiple post edit pages open at the same time, you know how easy it is to mess something up. But how are you guys doing today? How's your holiday weekend? I actually have to log into SEMeasy. I'm not even logged into my own website here. I'm going to pause showing my screen for a moment and log in. Andrew, you want to take over for a little bit?
Sure. One of the big issues that we're getting through support is that a lot of people are saying, oh, I'm having issues with Double Age, or I'm having issues with some of the other plugins. Just make sure you go in and make sure that the extensions are all updated. It's an automatic. You just click the button. They automatically update. Most of the tickets were closed out just by being able to go in there and updating the plugin, and then everything was working just fine. So if you guys don't have the chance, if you guys haven't had the chance, please just jump in and just update the plugins, make life a whole lot easier for you guys, for us, just, all around. We just want to make sure that the software works well for you. If the software is not working well, then obviously that's an issue. So.
Yeah, you guys were absolutely right. My bad. The webinar is now open to everybody to join in. Whoever joined in before joined in through their email links, which you guys could do as well. You don't actually need to be on the page. You could just click that link that gets sent in the verified email. But everybody should be jumping in now. I'm just going to send out a quick message on SEMeasy.
I got it.
You already got it?
I got it.
Awesome. All right, let's jump back into the PowerPoint then, and start sharing my screen. Alrighty. So what else is new? That's what you guys are really here for. And Andy, you want to take this one? You there, man?
Yeah. Yes, I am here. Okay. We had asked you guys on a couple of the past webinars. We are going to be opening up Source Landlord again. SERP Landlord again. It is opening Thursday, September 11th, limited just to beta testers. Now, we did get actually we got an overwhelming response of people that wanted to jump in. But we still have room for, literally just maybe a handful more, and I'll twist Jake's arm on it. But you guys,
I don't. When we do the soft launch, yeah, I don't know about for beta testing. I mean, the way I'm looking at beta testing right now is probably about 20 to 25 people in tops. Not for any particular reason, for the code base. Just I want to get our system down completely on our back end here and make sure that there's no server overloads. And the other part of that is we're going to be going through. We've had over, about 56 to 60 applicants already. So we have to go through, obviously those who signed up first and those who are Premium Plus members are going to get priority over everyone else. But
Absolutely.
but Andrew, Ben, and I are going to be going through everybody's, requests and seeing who's active and whatnot and what they could bring, because we're looking for people from all walks of at all experience levels, I should say. From the complete noob to the SEO pro, because we need to make the software friendly for everybody.
Absolutely, and you know what? There was a couple of questions real fast about what is SERP Landlord. So you know what? I'll address that, and I think it's actually really good that there are some people that don't even know what it is at all, because those are some of the people that we want to beta test this. We also want really experienced people to beta test it. We kind of want a mix of everybody. So, so basically, what SERP Landlord is, it's a complete done-for-you system. So it's truly as simple as this. We will ask you for your main keyword. We will ask you for 8 additional keywords. That is all that is required out of you. Okay? Now, what is part of picking your main keyword and part of picking your 8 additional keywords is that obviously you've got to figure out which niche you want to be in, and you've got to figure out what those keywords are going to be. We highly suggest that people stay away from the home service-based businesses because there's just a ton of competition, and there are literally tens of millions of other niches out there that you could absolutely just crush it. So what happens is after you provide us these keywords, we go ahead and we generate a website for you, one website a month, and what we do is we are able to geo-target your main keyword with a geo-targeted location basically across the entire country. It generates a website that's approximately 300,000 pages. It's all set up, properly optimized, properly siloed, the whole 9 yards. And like I said, it just ranks like it's going out of style. And then what you basically can do is you can go out there and either lease it out by page or by state or just create one full traffic funnel. If you wanted to play around, you can throw AdSense on it. There's just a lot of different options for you that you can do. But that's kind of what SERP Landlord is in a nutshell. I know that a lot of people are out there trying to build their own sites. They run into issues, they run into problems, and a lot of people are like, listen, man, I just want to start making money. So that's what we're offering. Exactly,
and the best part is with your membership, you get a new site every month. That's one of the bigger upgrades to the service. You want to explain that a little bit, and that's pretty self-explanatory in itself.
So anybody who wants to jump in to beta test, just all you got to do is just jump in and throw in a support ticket. Give us just a little bit of background about yourself, and then we're going to just kind of jump through the forum and everything else and take a look and see, what we think your experience level is based on what we can see that you've posted in the forum and stuff like that. So it's a lot easier if you give us some of the information and, even throw 1 or 2 things out in the forum just so we can see what's going on, and that's it.
Some people have written, biographies of themselves. It's been pretty interesting, and we do read them. They are,
We definitely don't need a resume.
No, of course not, but it is very cool. We do love learning about, our client base, and the more we know, the better we could tailor our services.
Even a little something like, listen, I've been doing SEO for a month. I've been doing SEO for, 2 years. I've been doing SEO since, I was born, whatever the case may be, just to give us a little bit of, background about yourself.
Little background. All right, and let's see. The next slide is pretty cool.
Frank just gave us his background. He's 6'1". He's 250 pounds. Brown eyes. Is that enough background? Yeah, Frank, actually, that's plenty of background for you, my friend. We don't want any more.
Yeah, I had to hide my chat for now. I keep getting distracted.
We will be opening that up also to, I don't know if it's going to happen exactly in the beta test phase, but yes, it will be open for UK and other areas as well. I would say within the next, 30 days, Jake, somewhere around there maybe?
Yep, just about.
Yeah.
Probably a bit sooner.
Yeah. All right, so we'll see about that.
All right.
So, like I said, that's one thing.
Yeah, the next slide I kind of jumped to a little early, but this is the big thing we need. we need 5 hardworking individuals that want to make money. And Andrew, I mean, you came up with this idea, and I hate to keep saying it, but outside of the code updates, there's not much for me to add to this. So, you want to take it?
Sure. Let's see. How can I explain this in a way that doesn't? All right. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of guys out there that they're great sellers. They have a hard time providing a service. One of the hardest things about providing a service is that there's so many other people competing with you in order to be able to provide that service. The other thing is actually just being able to know how to do it and be able to get it done. I'm going off a little bit on my, I'm kind of taking the ball and running with this. Jake and I have been able to figure a couple of things out that we
careful how we present this.
Yeah, no, things that we've been testing out and things that we've found great successes with. And what we're looking for is a couple of people that have just really knocked down some sales experience. I mean, just really knocked down sales experience that we would be looking to try and basically partner with in reference to running this. I mean, this isn't even a beta at this point. This is just my own little, this is something that we were able to, we know that we're like the only ones out there that do this. So, or at least if there is somebody else, I don't know who they are. I've never seen them before. So
yeah. So essentially, let's preface this before anybody thinks they're just going to jump straight into this. There's going to be mutual non-disclosure, non-compete agreements put in place and signed before. I mean, we even could discuss what we're working on. But what we're looking for, Andrew, you explained it best to me. I could try,
Yeah, that was like probably 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, what are we looking for this project? What do we need? I mean, we need 5 individuals that, I mean, not want to make money. That's why everybody's here. I mean, but it can't just be anybody.
Yeah, you have to have absolutely zero SEO experience, basically. But you do have to, it's not one of these, oh, I don't want to talk to people. Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And basically what we do is, I'm just really looking for 5 hard-charging people that are not afraid to pick up the phone or shoot out emails and really be aggressive and try and contact people with a really wild offer. And what we'll do is, once we identify who these people are going to be, I'll actually sit down, like I said, we'll have everybody sign off on some non-disclosures, non-competes, all that, some fun legal stuff, but then we'll actually show you what exactly it is that we're doing. And it's very unique. The reason that we're only looking for a handful of people right now is that we're still at the very beginning phases of this, so the scalability, like, we know that we can do it, it's not a question, but we're really just trying to figure out the scalability. We're also trying to kind of, check the market right now and see how receptive the offer is. I mean, I think the offer is killer, but we're just trying to, just get our feet wet with it a little tiny bit. And honestly, I wish I had the time to be able to go out and do it all myself, and unfortunately, I don't. I know that Jake doesn't, so I mean, we actually were talking about it literally yesterday. And I said to Jake, I go, listen, man, we got like a community of almost 2,000 people. Why don't we there's got to be somebody in the group that we can, a couple of people in the group that we could, that would be interested and that we could tee this up to, and that they would be able to just run with the ball. So, I mean, that's kind of, I mean, I guess, Jake, if I missed something there, I know it's a little vague, guys, but, like I said, all we're looking for is some people that are not afraid to be, to go out there and push hard on the sales market. And we're going to show you exactly who you'll be targeting. And that's the thing. It's not really SEO. It's like it's just something a little different.
Oh yeah, the one thing you forgot to mention that it seems like everybody else who does these we need people things forget to mention, or they mention the complete opposite is this is free. We're not charging you guys anything.
Yeah, on this we're not. Yeah, it's not like we need 5 people to pay us, so we can try and be top secret about something. No, this is 5 people that if you're rocking at sales, then yeah, it's not going to cost you anything. And if anything, like I said, if if we make money, you make money. But I can tell you that if you're one of those people that we select, and unfortunately, you're coming up dry, then we're going to have to put somebody else in that spot. That's all.
Yep,
I mean,
that's
no harm, no foul.
That's pretty much it. But I mean, we're not charging you any monthly fee for this thing. This is we need people who want to do sales. That's it. And if you're one of those people and you're willing to take on this new and interesting and intriguing process or task, then submit a nice little application along with your landlord application, I guess.
Yeah, so there's really two different things that we're looking for. Like I said, beta testers on the landlord, which we explained. Huge sites, you guys pay on that model, but then go out there and you do whatever you need to do. But we're looking for just a handful of people on this other little project, and you can just, when you put in a support ticket, you can just call it the I don't know, secret project. I don't even know. We didn't give it one of those cool, nifty little names like other people do.
We need 500. Yeah, the secret project. I mean, guys, we were up till 3 o'clock in the morning, and then had an hour drive home. So I didn't get home till 4 last night. This isn't like or 5. I don't know. This isn't some super duper awesome, slideshow we got here. But we do have some really, really cool stuff we're working on, and we want you guys to get involved in it. So if you're interested, we're definitely interested in hearing from you.
Yeah, and there's a reason that we're not going to talk about exactly what it is here on the webinar. It is one of those things that we just really don't want to get out there at all until.
Yeah, this isn't some I got some private PBN thing I want you to sell some links to. This is something that literally nobody else that I know of is doing right now.
All right, so with that, I mean that's kind of really where we're at. Like I said, with the free members, we are going to, the forum is going to be as we couldn't figure out whether to say closed, shut down, discontinued, but any one of those words would work. We've just gotten to the point where
it's gone to infinitum and beyond. I mean, infinity and beyond.
Basically, what we're looking to do is, it's not that we don't want to provide free stuff for people, because we will, and I know that Ben actually put our schedule together, and there will be some free training coming up. Every couple of training sessions, we're going to make sure that there's at least 1 or 2 things in there free. But for the most part, we just don't want to keep all the stuff that we're able to show you guys open to the entire world. I mean, anybody can simply stop by, jump in, and just kind of see what's going on. And we're not looking for somebody to just take it and run off and create a JV Zoo, something like that.
Yeah.
We're just looking, to make sure that we keep this stuff that we're talking about and the stuff that we teach in-house, so it lasts as long as humanly possible. That's all.
Yep, that's it. And questions. Let's see. I should be able to erase.
All right. So yeah, at this point, guys, we're just going to open it wide up to questions.
Yep, and I'm going to bring up my question pane here and scroll to the top. I guess we'll just start from the top and scroll down. The hard part here is Andrew and I usually share a screen so we could see which question we're looking at the same time. Where should we start, Andrew?
I think you just start at the beginning.
All right.
I'll just let you scroll down, and actually, I think if you go over it, if you actually scroll over it, it will actually bring it up.
Do you see it on your end there?
Let me see.
Guess I just clicked on Frank's. Probably not. Anyway, I'm starting at Frank's at 2:08 p.m. So going back about a little less than 15 minutes ago. Is this going to be rebroadcast on the Black Hat Forum? Maybe. Depends who decides to copy it. Apps Ahoy, that's Nick. He had a question in here. There's a lot of people saying hi. This is when people were jumping in. What'd he say? If we have done nothing with double agents besides update it, what do we need to do? The answer is nothing. All you got to do is update it. Everything will be working as normal. If you want to enable the 302 redirection, just go to your general options page, and it's one of the options in that top box right below, I believe, clickjacking. And click that checkbox yes and save your options if you want to save that. Let's see. I'm yet to install, Peter's saying, I'm yet to install Double Agent on my site as I was busy setting up content. Do I need to install the base plugin first and then install Double Agent? Yes, you got to install the SEM plugin. Click the membership tab. There you'll be prompted to put in your license key and your SEMeasy username. And make sure you go to the domain manager or the license manager on SEMeasy.com and put in your domain name there too. So
yeah, we have full documentation. If you're not sure, then you can simply just go over to, I think it's under Learn, and then the documentation is under that.
Yep. Nick's saying, so if we're using Bitly, what should we do? Change off of Bitly, go to another redirection that allows the 302 redirect to work. T.co works. I know GoDaddy's redirection works. It's a pain, but I mean, ultimately, the best thing you could do is either redirect to a page on your own site or redirect to a lander or something. And it's not even a redirection. Redirect's the wrong word.
It really is. It's an overlay.
Yeah, but I mean, there is a redirection that is occurring inside the overlay itself. It's just where the question's correct. It's where the backlink juice is going. And it is passing through a 301 redirect now, as we're aware. Now, the problem for some of you guys who might be wondering what the hell are we talking about is Bitly with their 301 redirects. Google changed how they were treating them, and then they now consider they pretty much skip that chunk in the chain, and they just connect the link itself straight to the target website and pass all the link juice straight through, as if Bitly never existed. So I put in a 302 redirection algorithm. But Bitly doesn't like being redirected. You know, ironically enough, a redirect engine doesn't like being redirected too. So they have a rule on their web server that says, oh, if we're being redirected to, don't display the site, just display a white page. So that was a problem that was happening. And if you're using Bitly links just to track a duped site or a loader or a lander or whatever, then you're completely fine. You don't need to do anything at all. But if you're using it to go to a money site or a target site or like a client site, highly recommend changing it to another one and using the built-in 302 redirection option in Double Agent. Andy, anything to add to that?
No, I think you nailed that.
All right. What else? What's going on here? We got to skip over all Frank's comments. Can I explain what SERP landlord is? We got that one already. Let's see. Nick was going, it rocks. My sites are getting hundreds of clicks to my clients. Which one was? Oh, that was for landlord. Yeah. Yep. Appreciate that.
One of the questions, we had a couple of people, what exactly is SERP landlord? So we went over what that is. Let's see.
Peter asking to be a beta tester. Yep, again, anyone who wants to be a beta tester, just go ahead, help.semeasy.com, enter in a ticket, and if you want to be one of our, want to apply for one of those positions, you could also do that at help.semeasy.com. We'll probably, actually, Ben, you want to put up a Google form or something for that?
For the Amazon?
For the application, for the 5-person team.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna actually have a separate app for that. So never mind putting that in the help forum. We'll put up a separate app. I might actually build one depending on how much time I have today, which is not much. Anyway, let's keep going through. New site every month, a new set of keywords, or ... Yeah, nope. It's gonna be a new site every month, and it could be a new set of keywords or the same keywords. It's up to you. Beta testing, people are asking how much. We're going to probably reduce this price by about, what do we say, about 25%? Andrew?
Yeah, thereabouts, yep.
All right, so I believe the beta pricing is going to be reduced by about 25%.
And like I said, guys, I mean, we're opening this up, like I said, to beta testers. We actually have a pretty full house right now. Actually, we have a completely packed house as far as landlord members, because we've had people on waiting lists. If you are, Nick, I will actually get with you afterwards. Just hit me up. I was away for like a week or two, and we didn't connect, but I have an answer for you. So, like I said, the beta test, the beta test, guys, the beta test is actually a good way to jump in, because right now we actually don't have really any open slots. We actually, unfortunately, we kept the button open. We actually had a few people sneak in that we didn't realize. But like I said, outside of that, it's been completely closed because we've just been solidly booked. So, all right. So let's see.
All right, there's a ton of pick-me's.
Yeah, guys, if you're not sure, just let me know if this goes through. Send all. I'm just going to send that out there. I don't know if that went through to everybody, but it's the support.SEMeasy.com. If you're screaming pick me, or Frank was using another 4-letter word that started with an F, me, just put in a support ticket, and like I said, we're just going to take a quick look.
Yep. Office, that's the username, is asking or was saying, I hate selling. Is there any point in me being on this webby? I hate selling. Is there any point in me being on this webby? I hope that's sarcastic.
It's an update, and like I said, you can ask any questions you want.
Yep, any questions you have. But you shouldn't hate selling, because that's how money's made.
That is how money's made.
Everybody's going, I love selling. Everybody's posting their resumes in the comments. Somebody's offering, Frank, of course, I should have realized it was Frank.
I'll tell you what, guys. I mean, like I said, some of the things that people are putting in here, they're actually really good. Like there are definitely some people that we would like to definitely strike up a further conversation with. So do me a favor, just shoot in a support ticket, and we'll definitely get to it. It's much easier for us to be able to hang it to go through the support than it is to be able to try and do it through the chat, or the question module here.
Yep. Someone's going, or not someone, BusyGal21 is going, is the SEMeasy plugin updated and ready for download? Because when I last checked, it didn't look like it was updated. The SEM plugin itself in the download locker is still in, 2.0.1 or whatever.
That's the same. That hasn't changed.
That hasn't changed. But when you go to the SEMeasy page on the back end of your WordPress admin panel, you could see that all the updates. You can see the changelogs and everything for the extensions themselves. Those are what's been updated, and you could very easily pull down the latest version of the extensions and update your site, or add them if you haven't had them before, or remove them straight through that control panel. So pretty easy.
We got a question that says, do you have any idea when you'll be holding an on-page SEO hangout? Yes, it's actually on the list, but I think the next one, which is next week, is going to be about automating your business, which is honestly the best thing that I ever did for myself in any one of my businesses. It doesn't need to be SEO, but SEO specifically. So we're going to go into the different aspects next week of how to automate your business, different tools that you can use to automate it, ways that just how you should be, how you can basically structure and start to make a real system out of any business. It really doesn't make a difference what business it is, but obviously we're going to specifically tailor it towards SEO. So, yep. And if you want, then why don't you just take a note from me real fast, if you would. I know that we did have the on-page SEO. If people are looking for that sooner rather than later, then we can put that in sooner rather than later. Okay.
Sounds good. All right. JW Affiliates is asking, can we limit SERP landlord sites to areas within a state, such as a site limited to Long Island, New York? And we've done that before. I don't see why we can't keep doing it.
Yeah,
I think
but on the flip side, I would say why limit yourself? And the reason being is that the larger that the site is, the more link juice that gets pushed through to all of those specific locations. But if you're looking for something specifically like Long Island, and you want to hit the towns like, Bayside or Ronkonkoma or or if you Comac or whatever else, all those areas right in there, yeah, you can specifically target something just for that.
Yep. Just like Andrew was saying, missing that content part of the equation, you need authority, so you're most probably going to have to push some form of link juice back to it.
Okay, hey Jake, I'm building a site with each county under a different subdomain. The question was, will double agent work on this setup?
Yeah, double agent wasn't designed to work in subdomains. I mean, the original problem was the guy who first coded, the SEM plugin. It wasn't a WordPress developer. I was working in tandem with him and had him coding a little bit of it, and I've been going back and fixing tons of it over time, but some of the things he didn't set up correctly, such as using the built-in WordPress function for figuring out where the hell the plugin folder is located. He decided it was a good idea to write his own custom function instead, and I have to go in and replace all those calls in order for it to work on subdomains. And I've been doing that, but it takes a while, and if one of them doesn't get fixed, then the whole system won't work on a subdomain. So I am working on it, but it might be a little bit. So I hope that answers your question, Craig. But for right now, the answer, unfortunately, is most probably not.
But give it a test.
Yep.
We haven't played with it too much within subdomains. I mean, we played with subdomains and ranking subdomains, and we found certain limitations with it, but we actually never really even started to play with double agent and stuff like that in the subdomains.
Yep.
It says, hey, hi guys, do you recommend Spider Spanker Pro for our PBNs? I don't want to say Spider Spanker per se, but I mean, I use DigiLink Doctor, any one of those that will 301 redirect any old post. So basically, for those of you that don't know, right, so you buy a private blog network, right, and it used to have a ton of content on there. And a lot of that content is still indexed by Google. And there were links built back to those internal pages and everything else, which is the reason why that domain that you purchased was worth as much as you purchased it for, right, because it has lots of links going back. But those links are dead if those pages are dead. You no longer get any link juice to your website if those pages on your website don't exist. So what Spider Spanker or DigiLink Doctor or any of them do is when somebody goes to visit those pages or the spiders go to hit those pages or whatever else, it'll 301 redirect them to another page, either your home page or any other page on your website that you want to redirect them to keep that link juice flowing. So yes, absolutely, I highly recommend it. It's almost a waste to go into your PBNs and buy PBNs without it. You have to use one of them. There's a couple of free ones. I know that Mark Upshaw knew a couple of really good free ones, and I know Mark Upshaw knows Spider Spanker inside and out. I can tell you about DigiLink Doctor, which is really easy to use, but it was ridiculously expensive. But I am sure that there are copies floating out there or whatever else. Not that I recommend it, but I know that there are.
Yep. I was actually on mute for a little bit there. I was talking to Ben. And he's saying he actually came up with a good idea, and I agree with him. If you guys are interested in that 5-person or trying to join that 5-person group, just send your requests in straight through the help desk. We're going to be sending out a little questionnaire type, application, and you guys could fill that out. We'll just gather your email addresses, and then we'll send it out to all the people who are interested. And that's going to make our job a hell of a lot easier, and also your guys' job easier because you'll know what to expect from us. So,
so right now I am at 234 for Peter. He says, will there be an upgrade to a clickjacking feature that I was asking for? Jake, you're familiar with that, right?
Yep. Yes, there will be that update. I just haven't been able to put that in yet. Working on a ton of stuff right now. Excuse me. Working on a ton of stuff right now. So it's definitely on the list, and it's up there, but it's just going to take a little bit of time.
Okay. How can you use double agent with CPA offers? It's the same way that you'd use it for affiliates or anything else. Basically, you're going to build out your site based on what that CPA offer is. If the CPA offer is for a lead for whatever type of industry or business or whatever else, or even a CPA being like an affiliate, but yeah, basically it's an affiliate obviously, but you just overlay that page right on top of it, and it works with 100% click-through rate every single time. You may get contacted by some of these affiliates when they turn around to you and they go, how do you have 100% click-through rate all of the time? It does sometimes send up a couple of little, flags and everything else, but, it is what it is. They should be happy.
Yep.
Have you guys tested huge SERP shaker style sites targeting products plus keywords where there are thousands of products rather than locality? Yeah, we've played with that as well in different niches. It actually works just as well.
Yep.
It absolutely works just as well. I mean, we like the geo-targeted because there's a lot that you can do with it, but that's really only one aspect. You can absolutely open up and, you want to create short codes for colors, you want to create short codes for different products. Yeah, I mean, it's like really limitless, about what you can do. All right, how much is the beta tester for SLL? I think we went over that. You're going to see a 25% discount from where we're at right now for your assistance to help us out. If we use the plugin PrettyLink, it will
let us create domain.com/whatever and forwards that URL to anywhere. If we use that and click use no follow links, so that suffices a URL shortener. What it's probably going to do is I don't know it. I haven't looked at the code. It probably does some form of 302 redirection. It most definitely is somewhere in the action sequence of the WordPress page generation. Hooks in somewhere and changes the header location. I just don't know if it does it through a 301 or a 302 redirect. You just have to look in the code and see what it does. That's pretty much it. But yeah, I mean that possibly might work, and then you could leave the 302 feature off on the double agent itself.
What type of time commitment for the secret project? Much as you want to make out of it. It really there's lots of different ways to attack it, depending on how smart or how crafty you can be. It could take you just a short period of time every day, or a little bit of time per week or whatever else. But obviously, we're looking for real go-getters that really want to hit this hard. It's a great opportunity. You'll be blown away when you actually see it.
Yep.
25% of what amount?
Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jake. Okay, I don't want to cut you off.
All right, no, it's the same pricing structure that we introduced with the original landlord, and you gotta remember the original landlord was one site. You keep paying monthly to retain that site, and you don't get any new sites. So this is actually a much better value, but for a site that targets one individual state itself, say New York or California or Texas, it's going to be $197, and then 25% of that, to make me do the math, but it's about $25 off. So it'd be about $170.
It would be about $50 off.
$50. Yeah, exactly, $50 off. It's that kind of morning. $50 off. So it'd be floating around like 145, somewhere around there. And then on a national site, so 50 states instead of one state, we're only charging $497, and then 25% off that is what's that, a buck 25 or something like that. I'm going to embarrass myself.
That's $400. It's $100 off.
So, all right.
All right, so next question. It says, still not completely clear on schema when building a landlord type multi-page site. May I do schema on the first page created, add codes, and run SERP Shaker? Will the individually created pages need to be individually schema'd? No. If you break the schema down into a short code or spun content or whatever else, then every time you roll it out, it should be fine.
Yeah,
that's really.
I was right. It was just about $125 off.
Okay, a little confused about 2x issues with Bitly. Are you saying we need to use a different URL shortener service to have the links to our money site? No. Yes and no. The first thing is that we made changes within Double Agent, so now it's a 302 redirect.
25%. 20%.
So now it's a 302 redirect. But if you're still looking to do the URL shortener, then what we're saying is that Bitly is now using 301 redirects. So what would happen is, for instance, you had a page that had 300,000 sites and you used the Bitly link on all of them, you're going to eventually get all 300,000 links pointing to your money site, which is not a good thing. That's the reason why we didn't point, it's almost the same thing as pointing it. The only thing that Bitly is giving you at that point is a tracking system of how many clicks. That's really all Bitly is giving you at that point. There are different URL shortener services, T.co. Jake, what were the other ones? I forgot.
T.co, there's GoDaddy's URL shortener. You can even install your own shortener.
Yeah, you can install your own shortener, which is called URLs.
And theoretically, having the redirection algorithm with a 302 redirect inside Double Agent itself is a URL shortener. It's not a short URL by any means, but that's because we encrypted the hell out of it. But it is a URL shortener. It performs the same exact service. It doesn't provide the tracking, but it's there. It's one URL. It's redirecting you to another.
Okay. What do you guys think of the new PBN product offered? Will you be coming out with something like that? No, we're probably not going to be coming out with something like that. I mean, obviously, we think PBNs are good. I can't vouch for their product at all. I haven't, outside of a video that I watched.
For anybody who knows our history, when we get things with, from certain groups of people, we tend to ignore them at this point. So.
No, come on, Jay. The truth is, though, we do like to open it up, and we do kind of get a giggle as we crack open a drink or something.
Yeah, but I mean, in all reality, we be honest. There's nothing.
We don't take a lot of products we don't take seriously. I guess is really.
Yeah, there's no one-click solution to nothing, but we do want to listen to everything and get as much knowledge, gain as much knowledge as possible, I should say. So I'm not knocking anything before I try it, but.
Can somebody tell me the significance of press releases? Sure. The significance of press releases are pretty simple. You get a lot of links from multiple authoritative sources, pointing back to your site. You also, if you write a good press release and it actually gets, and it gets a little bit of notice and stuff like that, then you'll actually get, real visitors right from that press release. But the point is that, you're getting, you write one press release, it's syndicated, and you're getting lots of links back from highly authoritative websites from all over the place. So, I mean, what Jake and I have actually played around with is that we can rank a local website by a very small private blog network about, depending on, once again, it all depends on the keywords and stuff like that. But very small private blog network, 3 or 4 sites, some schema, and one good press release syndication, and that's about it. And
Andrew, I remember you described this very same structure when I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
You were actually one of the originators. You drew out the entire map of this. I mean, it really hasn't changed.
No, schema is the big part that changed. I mean,
well, schema. I called schema last year.
You did.
Let's see. What are your thoughts on Cloud PBN? I mean, we already covered that a bit. Just a side note. Here, I'm going to scroll down to the very bottom. I'm going to ask a question. Anybody know what cloud means? Post an answer if you know what cloud means, because Andrew and I get a kick out of this all the time, and it's something that's exploited. I've seen, IBM exploit it. I've seen Verizon exploit it. The whole no idea. See, no, I don't really. What is it? See, some people get it. iPhone porn hack. Yep. For those who did you hear about this, Andrew?
What's that?
You're this disconnected from the news. You didn't hear about this? iCloud got hacked, and there were a ton of celebrity leaks.
Yeah. Yeah, some guy and his supermodel girlfriend apparently now have naked pictures, right? It was the picture of the
It's
tiger.
not. It's not one supermodel. It's like what were there 10 or something?
I only heard of the one.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence was one. Kate Upton was
Kate
one.
Upton, yeah.
Yeah. There was tons of pictures. 4chan. All right, so some people got it here.
You know what, it's funny because I keep trying to get my pictures on those lists, and nobody wants to hack into my shit. So I can't give them away. I post them publicly, and nobody shares them. So.
Everybody's seen you. You're actually internet famous. People who they might not know this. I'm going to tell them anyway. Andrews actually was on The Onion.
Well, yes, I was. I was on the first episode of the. You know what? This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. You guys figure out what episode of The Onion that I was on. It's a video because I'm not going to have you guys ripping through everything. I'll give you the short story real fast. My buddy had a house and was looking for a roommate, put it up in like Craigslist, and the people from The Onion called him up and said, "Hey, listen, we'll pay you like a month's rent to just be able to film for a day." So they all showed up at the house, and the guy that was responsible for picking up the main actor couldn't find him in the city. The guy they just couldn't find each other, and he figured, screw it, and he left them. And they came up, and they were actually missing. They were missing one person. So sure enough, they asked me to step in. They honestly did not tell me what I was doing at all. They just said, like, stand here now, look over this direction, and they would take a picture. Okay, now look this direction. Now pick up this box and just read this. And I had no clue what it was until it actually aired. Absolutely one of the funniest things in the world, though, especially when you're involved in some sort of film thing and you don't know what it's all about.
Yeah,
like Goldfinger. What was that? Goldfinger, wasn't that the Eddie Murphy?
All right, so we did have some answers here, though. Yep, content delivery network, remote server, centralized hosting. Yeah, the cloud. You guys, SEMeasy is hosted on the cloud. You ever get an iMessage that's coming from the cloud? You ever store anything that's not on a hard drive in your physical possession or a flash drive in your physical possession? Anything on the internet, it's in the cloud. You use the cloud every single day, so don't be fooled when somebody says, "Oh, this is the cloud. This is cloud computing, cloud networking. This is, it's nothing special. You use it every single freaking day, and you don't hear me bragging about it. So that's you don't brag about it either, and you use it. So don't be impressed by the cloud. If anything, be a little cautious of the cloud. Be careful what you put online.
Okay, somebody asks, what links do you recommend building to sites with thousands of pages, and do you suggest pointing them to the directory page? We actually don't build links out to our massive sites. We just don't. But I guess if you were dead set that you had to do it, I guess I would split them up between the home page, the directory, and then all of your different category pages if you had a whole bunch of them. If I only had a handful of them, I point them to my main page and my directory page. In SERP Domination Hangout, Andrew mentioned that the manual post he made was an example, did not rank well because it wasn't siloed. I've created a site and posts and have one widget in the sidebar of 2012 for categories. Would you put a link in the next post in the bottom? Okay, so it's like, he's asking if you put the next post or, previous post or whatever else. Yeah, absolutely. That will, in fact, create another multiple silo within the site. The point is to get the interlinking capabilities, and like, for instance, if it's going to link from one post to the next, as long as it's set up that it's linking from one post to the next in the same category, you're fine.
Exactly. That's all I was going to add to that. Just make sure it's going into the same category itself.
Can you come to my house?
That's Frank.
Sure.
Come on.
Sure, Frank. With SLL sites, have you enabled the solution for 302s? Yes. For source land for SERP landlord sites, Jake. I don't think we updated that yet, but that will be updated within the next day or so.
Yep. You just got to push that out.
Last week's webinar, there was a PowerPoint that offered. Yes, you can actually, Doug. You can go back to the. to the replay on that, and I put it in one of the comments. You can download the PowerPoint. It's nothing special. It's nothing great, but at least you can download it and actually make it look good. I'm not a huge PowerPoint. You'll see, this is my PowerPoint right here. I create these, right? So I just keep it nice and white, and I put our logo on the bottom, and I keep it really, try and make it nice and clean. So like I said, you can jazz it up any which way you want. So should we trust the PBM product launch today? Listen, guys, we're not really, I mean, we're not looking to bash anybody. A lot of people keep asking about, I don't know if it's like they're really curious or if they're trying to bait us into something, but really we're not, we haven't tried the product, so we really don't know. You know, once again, I judge things on track records, so, you know, that's about all I'm going to say.
Yep.
Subdomains work fine on mine, subfolders don't.
Yep, that is correct. That was my assumption as well, and that's something I'm working on, guys. But at the same time, yeah, at least you got subdomains working.
Okay, so starting out today to buy Spin Rewriter and Surf Shaker, what's the optimal amount of posts if we're targeting a city and not going nationally? You know what? This is for Jay, who asked the question. So my question is optimally as many areas as you can within that city. I mean, that's just it. If you can scrape it down to little neighborhoods, hamlets, you know, however people you think will search or however they refer to location, as much as you can for that city. That's what my recommendation would be. Don't leave anything out. A specific number, I wouldn't land on a specific number. What I would tell you is just to try and hit every single one of those little tiny locations. Because each one of those little tiny locations might only bring one hit every so often, but all those little one hits add up really, really, really fast. Just use Link Juice Keeper. That was it. Link Juice Keeper is, I think, a free version of like the whole, you know, DigiLink Doctor and then Spider Spanker, which is, you know, trying to keep your link juice for your private blog networks.
Yep.
I think, Peter, we already answered that question in reference to clickjacking feature, link juice or link juice. This just shows how far we are behind.
We're about 20 minutes behind.
Okay, how soon will the landlord members be beta testers be chosen? That will be within by next week, right, Jake?
Yeah, we have a schedule. Ben, what date were we announcing the beta?
I think it's Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday, yep, Thursday's correct.
Yeah.
Frank says shut up, Ben, exactly 20 minutes ago.
Well, tell Frank your mom.
Frank, your mom. You probably heard it, though.
Is buying expired domains still something we should do for a private blog network? Yes. Buying expired domains is absolutely something you should be doing for a private blog network. Don't use new domains for a private blog network. Do not. Let's see. Can we get an example of Schema? You know what? We can. We did a whole section on it, whole training session on it. If you guys go onto the website, right? What we did was under, let's see, under Learn, you're going to see the SEMlive archive, and it's actually broken out. You'll see AdSense, PBN training, Q&A sessions, rep management. So everything gets filed under those little categories for that. We had somebody who thought that there were only 6 training sessions, but if you go into, you know, like the PBN, there's a handful of them. Question and answers, there's a whole bunch of them. Rep management, there may be 1. Sales training, there's a bunch. Schema, there's only 1. But as we do more on each one of those subjects, we just keep putting it into that section there to make it a little bit easier for people to follow.
Yep, and we are also working on the training module itself over here. But, you know, the course module, I should say. And it's actually coming along pretty well. We've got the basics down, and we're just trying to populate everything. And, you know, oh, SEMchat too, guys. Don't forget, that's going to be closing out to free members as well. So I might as well go
Approximately 1 hour.
in approximately 1 hour. So, you know, 1 hour left.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump back to the PowerPoint here.
Okay, guys, answer my question. I guess we must have missed the question. It says, guys, answer my question. I would like to, but I can't go back up and figure out which question that was if we accidentally missed it.
It was 2:49 p.m., but there was a lot that came in around that time. It was, does the GoDaddy link shortener track clicks? That's a good question. I'm actually not 100% sure if it does. I believe it does. I just have to double check that. Attraction Social Media says, guys, answer my question. We're getting tons and tons of questions. We're still 20 minutes behind. Like I'm answering a question. Yours came in at 2:49 and it's now 3:08. So, I mean, if something gets lost in the mix, it's not because we're trying to ignore it. We really do want to get to everybody's questions. I'm scrolling up through, and I don't know where your other one is. Oh, I think it came in maybe 2:32 p.m. It's when is your SS version coming in price range? And just with the, you got the first two letters of the SS, but you forgot the H. That's shush for right now. It's going to be coming out. You just got to be a little bit patient. We got some really big players working on it right now, and you know, it's a project that's getting the full attention that it deserves, and just you know, this isn't our first time around the block, guys, and we want to do the best. I think you guys trust us by now. I mean, I know you guys trust us by now that we're going to do our very best to make sure we can get you the best product possible before just throwing something out there. So, you know, I hope that answers your question. But we are actively working, and we want to make it as attractive as possible for you guys. So.
All right, so it says, have you guys addressed the issue of being able to take AdSense off of a specific category and not the entire site? No, I mean, it all depends on which AdSense plugin you use, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's not really us. You could go in, and I could, if you want, I could go and write a plugin extension to remove AdSense from categories of sites if that interests you. Guys, if there's any extensions, or you have an extension idea of something that you want on your site that would help you with your SEO or your conversions or something like that, you got a cool idea, send it in, and, you know, I'll consider it, and if it's good, I'll turn it into an extension for you. That's why you're paying, like, you know.
Big Happy asks, could you share an example of an SLL site that isn't locally based but product based? Yes, I could, but no, I can't, because I probably have a couple of clients yelling at me. But I can put one together and show you, David, if that works for you. But I just can't show you the ones that I actually have built out right this exact second.
You actually just built out a few this morning. I saw the bill come in from Namecheap.
Okay, let's see. Any chance we can get an example of schema coding to put on our own site? Yeah, guys, anybody's asking about schema, I would, I think we have a whole section of it in the forum that we would love to get populated. B, we actually have a full training. If you guys haven't seen it, jump in there and check it out, because it's pretty thorough. And even if you sat through the first time and you watched it, a lot of people were just kind of sitting there with their mouth wide open going, what the heck is this? If you go back and watch it now, I guarantee you it makes a whole lot more sense to you, because we've been talking about it a whole lot. And a lot of times the first time you feel like you're getting whacked over the head with a baseball bat, and you're kind of stunned at first and go, wow, this is really difficult, or, you know, you're just trying to take it all in. Go back and rewatch it. I guarantee you're going to pick out a lot of stuff out of it.
Yep. And I tried to break down the HTML as easily as possible, but it is going into code, and it does require a little attention. And, you know, the first time I went out and coded, I needed to take out a pen and a piece of paper. Ask Andy what my desk looks like. It's covered with pen and paper.
Horrible.
And it's, you know, taking notes and learning. Everybody learns their own way, but it takes multiple tries to, you know, translate something from just hearing it to an actual memory and knowledge. There was a question in here.
Said, hate to be a broken record, but how are the short tutorials coming? I still haven't installed any of the plugins because I do not understand how to use them. They're up, right? I mean, Jake, unless I'm not reading the question right.
Yeah, no, they've been up for a while.
If you,
They should be under, where are they? Learn,
I just went to support accidentally.
library, plugin documentation.
Yeah, if you go to Learn under Library, the plugin documentation has videos, it has PDFs, it's got everything in there for you to install them, how to use each little tiny section of them. So that's up. Assuming.
Yep. Alrighty. Back here.
Do you have a
So,
listing?
people are talking out in some chat right now, enjoying the free last hour of the public room. All right, we got a question here. When using index assault, how many pages should you index at one time? And it really depends on your server and how many posts are on your site. And a big variable in that as well is your interlinking structure. If you have a good interlinking structure, you don't need to go crazy with it. I'd say probably about a good metric would be, I'd say, a third of the total posts you have on your site. Andrew, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, every site that I use.
I mean, a third to even a tenth would be more than enough.
I can tell you this: every site. It doesn't matter whether I do a full nuclear strike and it tries to get the entire website, or if I do one category. As soon as the spiders hit, it's like it's like ants on sugar. As soon as the first handful get there, next thing you know, like here comes the rest of them right behind them, and they're all jumping on it.
And a big part of that is the directory page. And if you set it up properly with the SEM directory shortcode, you're almost guaranteed to have your entire site crawled.
Yeah, I mean, it starts to rip through it really fast. I mean, as long as the site hasn't been indexed before, and if you're not sure if it's been indexed or not, site colon, the domain, if there's nothing that shows up, then it hasn't been indexed, or it was de-indexed, I mean, depending on the context that you're looking at it.
Yep.
Mario's asked and said, watch the schema video, don't recall to copy. Well, schema.org, you can go there and you can pull out whichever schema just do a search for whatever you're looking for. If you're talking about how to put it into like a spun content and everything else, it would all depend on what you're looking to do and how you're looking to do it. There's so many different types of schema, tags that to give you one in a spun out format would be really kind of tough, depending on which one you're looking at.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you go to schema.org, you can check out the different ones. But if you go to any type, let's see, review should be on this page. Item review, here we go. Review, aggregate review is generally what we use, aggregate just meaning there's multiple and that's the average. If you scroll down, you can see an example of just standard what this would look like on a page without schema markup. And say this is some restaurant's website that you're doing their local SEO for, or even a landlord type site where you're spitting out all this data here. But without markup, you just have this information here, and we as humans can understand it. We know that great food means that this restaurant is called Great Food, and we know that it got 4 stars out of 250 reviews. Whether that's true or not, you gotta make a decision. You judge that, and we could see that where its address is, and my computer recognized that it was Skype, but Google doesn't really recognize that that's a phone number. And you got this link here, which Google obviously knows it's a link to the website. And you got hours of operation listed here. The category is Middle Eastern food, price range, takes reservations. All this information is good information for us as humans, and we understand it. But the search engines, they don't see it the way we see it. They just see it as a bunch of text on a screen. It has no idea what categories Middle Eastern Mediterranean means. It looks like a bunch of ones and zeros, really. So what Google and Bing and Yahoo, they all got together and said, we need a system that lets our search engines be able to identify all these little bits of data and be able to parse them smartly the same way people do. That way we can modify our search algorithms to be more intuitive, more informative. So if we take a look at what it looks like with microdata, it gets a lot more confusing right off the bat, and I'll be the first to admit it. But if you go in and break it down a little bit, it's really not that hard. You see, first we open it up and we say we have a div, which if anybody who's worked in HTML or jumped into the HTML editor on WordPress knows you get divs. They are a type of HTML element, and when you start a div, you have to close a div, so there's a starting one there. Here, actually, let me point over to my pen and I can mark this page up. It'll be a little easier for you guys here. All right.
I miss Ben not being here. I got to make my own coffee. Hey, Ben, which one goes in first?
Ben,
The coffee, Ben, in reference to the coffee.
what? Andy said which one goes in first, but in reference to the coffee. The froth?
The frother packet. The fabulous froth.
He said the fabulous froth goes in first. All right.
And then the Costa Rica. That's the coffee you use.
And then the Costa Rican coffee is the one that you like.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. All right.
Have an extra one for me. I won't get beaten.
Ben says have an extra one for him. All right. So, you start a div. You're going to end a div. It's down the page. I can't scroll down because I have the pen tool out. But what they're doing now is they're declaring an item scope, which tells the search engine, you don't see it on your end, but it tells the search engine, all right, we got something here for you to look at. We got an item. Scope is just a developer term for, range, like, something that's in your scope. So item scope, item type, pretty obvious. You're telling the search engine what type it is, and you're saying it's coming from schema.org. That's where we're at, and it's a restaurant. So now we've told the search engines that everything inside this div is somehow going to be related to the restaurant, and we already declared that the item scope is going to be based off of the schema declared on schema.org for restaurants. And if we want, we could go into restaurant on schema.org and see all the different types of schema we could add in there. But right now we're only going to focus on the things that they included in their example. The first thing I brought up was the title, right? Great food. So right here is great food. This is what you see on your end. But look what they did here. They put it inside a span and added item prop name. Now from the search engine's point of view, it goes, okay, I have a restaurant. 1. 2, its name is great food. That's 2 things that the search engine now knows that it didn't really know before. The next thing we add in is a new item prop, aggregate rating. Again, we tell it what its scope is because there are different forms of aggregate rating, and we tell it where it's getting its item type from, or where it's getting, the schema from. It's getting it from schema.org aggregate rating, which, if you look, that's actually the page we're on right now. So they declare another span, just like they did before, but instead of saying, 4 stars out of 250 like they did before on the without markup tab, they go 4 stars, and they give it an item prop of rating value, like they tell you to do on this page a little bit further up, up there somewhere. They tell you what the proper item props to declare are. And so they say 4 stars out of, and then they say another one, another item prop, review count, so 250. So now the search engine knows that I have a restaurant, its name is called Great Food, its total rating or its average rating is 4 stars, it's gotten 250 reviews. Now it knows 4 bits of information that it didn't know before. And we could keep going further and further. You got address, and then you got street address, locality, which is going to be your town and region, so city, state, or city, ST is the short code, and even put in the postal code. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more bits of data, and we could keep going down. We got a telephone, 9, 10. Anyway, I could keep going on, and this page isn't even the fully marked up version of it. But
Jake, say cappuccino.
Say cappuccino? Why?
Is it latte or cappuccino?
Is it latte or cap? It's cappuccino.
Yeah.
Yeah, cappuccino. The latte would be really. I don't think you'd like it. I didn't really like it. Anyway, if this is confusing you guys, don't worry. I'm going to be releasing an extension that takes care of all this stuff for you guys automatically. But I hope you get the gist of it. Essentially what we're doing is we're giving more and more data to the search engines. And when Matt Cutts came out, pretty much everyone from Google came out and said, we're looking at web ranking queues or web signals. What were they talking about? This is what they were fucking talking about, guys. They want to see websites that have markup data meant for search engines to parse. These are the variables. I said it a year ago. I'm saying it again now because it's still, if not more relevant than it was back then. They are looking at this stuff whether they'll admit it or not. Okay? They want to see it on your website. When you're spinning it out, it's pretty simple. If you can't figure out how to spin it out with shortcodes and stuff, again, don't worry. We're gonna be coming out with an extension for that for you guys. But it's important. Schema is one of the most important things you could do for your on-page SEO, and it's not just limited to ratings or restaurants. Maybe I'm going to remove my pen here. I don't want to give the presenter over to Andy. I want to erase my drawings and move back to my normal pen here. There are literally maybe not thousands, but there are hundreds of types of schema. You could see, we could break it down here. This is the whole list. And look here, answer. You guys ever see the Google answer box? They're now even telling you how you could almost get into the answer box. Start playing around with this. I haven't even had time to do that. I'm going to start doing that in my free time. It goes on and on and on, and this is what the search engines are looking for. And I want to incorporate all this as automated as possible. But it's not only this. Look, I'm going to all the way down here, inside organization, educational organization, preschool, break into here. What does preschool have? It's going to break down even further because it's coming from thing. So that means it's going to have a rating, it's going to have the location, it's going to have the, let's see, employee count, and the address, and the aggregate rating. So it brings us all the way back over to schema aggregate rating, where we were before. Everything's interlinked here, guys, and it's that way for a reason. It's because we're really good at connecting things. Our brains are really, really good at connecting things. And I'm sorry if I'm going a little fast here, but they're trying to make the search engines better, and they are, but we could take advantage of that by making our web pages smarter. And,
Somebody said it the best, Jake, when they said, when Bing, Yahoo, and Google, and I think Yandex, and there may be one or two others that have jumped on, when you see the big three all jumping on the same thing and saying, we're going to work on this project co-jointly, you got to pay attention. I mean, like, you got to say, well, maybe this is something that we should be doing. Because if all three of them are saying this is the way to do it, then that is the way to do it as far as the coding goes.
Yeah. So I hope that answered your question a little bit for an example of schema.
Okay, somebody said, is this secret project for people that just live in the U.S.? Actually, no. That's actually a really good question. No, it's not. It actually could be anywhere. It doesn't really matter.
Yep.
Have someone looking that wants to do a massive campaigns not in the U.S. But we are using Surfshaker and, of course, Index Assault and Double Agent and a list of cities. I know it will work, but these guys are promoting things like gold buying via various lead capture pages. Any suggestions using these tools? If not, I mean, no, you nailed it. I mean, really, between having something that can generate the site, having something that can index the site, and then having something that can push that traffic wherever you need to, those are really the only three things that you need. That's about it. If it's not a huge site, then you're going to need maybe a PBN to link back to it and get it rocking and rolling. But
yeah, like Cloud PBN.
Outside of that, nothing else. How do I troubleshoot DA? The overlay.
What time are you at? Because I'm a lot sooner than you.
I'm at 3:09.
Huh, I'm still at 2:55, man. We skipped over a bunch.
Somebody was suggesting seamless Schema, if that'll help. It's a great plugin for Schema. Thank you, Peter. I'll have to check it out. Andrew, I was on the road all day yesterday. You must have been busy. We need to connect. Yeah, send me an email. Money, you've got my email. So yeah, we will definitely connect. I would actually like to, preferably sometime tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow would be great. At which point do you guys start making phone calls to rent sites? When you see that the site is ranking, or do you make sure that there is traffic before? Well, like I said in the last webinar, I mean, we do things slightly different. I don't just build out a site and then try and get it ranked out. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll make these sites as part of my SEO offering, as one of the tools that I'll use, plus use a private blog network towards their money site in order to get them ranked. You know, we do, in some respects, we will build out certain sites and then actually have one of our sales guys go out there and just try and hammer it out by category. But we have to wait for the site to rank before we do any of that. So, you know, I can't sell traffic. I can sell rankings, though. I can sell the exposure, but I can't sell how many clicks they're going to get. Attraction, you've asked the question a bunch of times. We're not going to get into it here in reference to what you're asking for. We can definitely do that. You know, I can definitely talk to you off the webinar.
Someone's asking with the, I mean, I don't want to comment on this PBN launch. It's not our launch. I haven't done any security audits. I don't know if it leaves a footprint or not. My honest answer is I just don't know. So that's all I'm going to say on the matter. And as far as JV launches go and the hype behind them, some JV launches are good and great. I mean, there's some great products that have been released in the past. I mean, we've definitely purchased some.
What we also find is that, you know, sometimes some of the best products don't get any hype at all because, you know, the person's actually trying to make that product market fit. They're trying to create a great product.
Exactly.
They're spending less time on their promotion and spending more time creating a great product. And there are some people that just, you know, they don't know the launch.
When you launch a product like that and with that model, like just that mentality, unfortunately, it's just the drop-off rate is extreme, and that's to be expected with that type of model. And I mean, we've seen it before, and we'll see it again, and it's just that's kind of how it goes, and it's really up to them how they run it. And if it leaves a footprint and they figure it out and they correct it, then not a problem, you know. And if it doesn't, then good for them, and they're making money, good for them. I mean, JV launches in and of themselves are a great means of getting it out there if you could do it right, but and it really I can't comment, not because I have a legal obligation or nothing. It's just it's an ethical thing, guys.
We haven't even checked we haven't even looked at it. I mean, it wouldn't be fair for us to say anything one way or the other.
Exactly.
Somebody is asking, Nick is asking about talking about PrettyLink again. It says the plugin lets us choose 307 or 302 redirects. We can also click add a no follow and a no index to this link's HTTP direct header. So does that sound like it would work? I mean,
yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah, Nick, it sounds absolutely awesome. Once again, what I would do is, if I were you, and we'll do it ourselves, we'll test that.
Yeah, I mean, I could if that is actually, it's not a bad idea.
What's that?
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, like I said, it does sound good. We always like to check anything before we're going to put our seal of approval on it. And you know, obviously, after we put our seal of approval on it, it could change the following day anyway because things change all the time. Like, you know, Bitly goes from you know, Bitly changes to a 301. Like, okay, well, you know what? It was working yesterday, but you know, unfortunately, we didn't have any control over changing it. So we just got to roll with the punches that we get hit with, you know.
Yep, and speaking of robots.txt and nofollow, this is the robot.txt that's auto-generated on any site you install the SEM plugin on. And it's just basic. It doesn't leave a footprint or nothing. Hundreds of, if not thousands of websites do this. Most security plugins do this automatically, but this helps prevent footprints, keeps the crawlers from seeing what plugins you have installed, and this allows people from getting into your WP admins and WP includes folders.
Let's see, do you recommend Infinite WP or Managed WP? Actually, I've used both of them. I like Infinite WP.
Yeah.
Managed WP, like I said, I'm not going to knock it, but it's sort of the same thing. I mean, it's sort of like, do you like Coke or do you like Pepsi? They both are really good, but we've landed on Infinite. That was it.
Yeah, my advice with Infinite, though, is load it up in Chrome. It handles the JavaScript much better than
Yeah, it will
Firefox.
crash out your browser once you start adding in hundreds of sites.
Yep.
Okay, so somebody says UK SLL sounds wicked. Would you guys love to? I would love to test that with you. Yeah, we would love to test it with you too. We would definitely like to jump into the UK. Let's see, any issues or tips on using WAMPs and everything else to locally generate posts? Jake, I'll let you jump on that. It's more of a technical question. I mean, even though I played with it years ago.
Yeah, can you give me the time code on that, though?
What's that?
Can you give me the time code on that question?
317?
Okay. Yeah, I'm still scrolling through the log then. All right. Any tips or issues? Not really. Make sure you update not only your WP config file, but you also have to you got to change your local host, your settings. You also have to change in the database itself the WP options table. There's some options in there that need to be changed. So, that's really it. It's practical, but it's you still got to migrate the site out and FTP everything up, and it's faster. It's definitely faster to do it on your local server, but it's not the easiest method, especially if you haven't done it before. As far as using WAMP or XAMPP or XAMPP as people pronounce it, I like using, if you're on Windows, I don't know if there's a Mac version or not, but it's Instant WP, and it's just a version of it all prepackaged together. Yeah, Instant WP. And you pretty much, it installs the entire LAMP stack and the WordPress, the most recent version of WordPress, as well as the database and the database user. Just gives it the proper permissions, and you could develop locally. So that would be my suggestion on that.
Tony asks, what about 404 redirection in place of DigiLink Doctor? Once Google hits the 404 page, it kind of dies right then and there. What DigiLink Doctor oh god, man, I'm having a brain fart here. Spider Spanker do is that you don't actually get that 404 page. It's automatically, like, it captures the fact that this page is trying to be hit, so it kind of then creates a page that will automatically be 301 redirected. It's just very different. We've played with a 404 redirection model back in the day, and actually found that sites were getting penalized using it because of the fact that guys were just trying to 404 themselves into internal link 27, and it just didn't work. Mario is still asking about the schema. It says yes, but the coding go right into the WP post or into the header code. It depends. If you're trying to rank your, let's say if the whole website is about one specific business, then you could put it right in the footer if you wanted to. If every single page is a different location, then obviously it's going to be in the WP post section in reference to your schema markup.
Yep.
Let's see. Somebody recommended here WordPress. It's called All-in-One Schema Org Rich Snippets. I guess you could check that out. Definitely. For local business, landlord site, how would you implement schema? I'm trying to use it with Surf Shaker and spinning.
So you got to put the different short codes inside the schema markup code.
Yeah.
Like copy the example provided on schema.org and then replace, the city state with the city state short code, or the title with the title short code and whatnot.
Okay, that's right. Doesn't matter where on your page you put the schema. It all depends on what your objective is. Like I said, if it's one business, so for instance, if I'm trying to optimize a restaurant and it's one location, then I can put the schema markup right in my footer, and then it carries over to whatever page they're on, whatever page gets hit or shows up in the SERPs or whatever else. But if you're trying to create a site that every single page is trying to target a different location, then you don't want to put it anywhere where it's going to be, throughout the entire site. It needs to go into that particular WP post.
Yep. All right. I think we caught up with all the questions. Oh wait, no, there's one. How do I troubleshoot DA? The overlay does not show up. Just send in the support ticket.
Yeah, Gordon, put in the support ticket and we'll jump on that. Holy cow! I'm looking at my email right now. Hey guys, just on the last note here before we jump out. We've got a lot of people that are looking for, like I said, that are looking to jump in on the beta. So definitely, definitely put your ticket in now just to make sure that we have it, and put your email in the ticket as well, just so we have it, so we can make sure that obviously we can contact you. But yeah, it looks like there are a handful of people that are interested. But like I said, what we're going to do is we're going to open it up to a certain amount of people, and especially the people that we feel we're kind of looking for that broad. We're kind of looking for a broad range of experience. Jake and I were talking about it last night. We would like to have a couple of people that don't seem to know a whole lot about SEO. We'd like to have some people that are intermediates, and then we'd like to have some people that know quite a bit about SEO, and we really kind of want to mix them all together. So don't feel as though you might not have the experience level. We are looking for some people that just have a very low experience level, and that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. When I was in the Marine Corps, the one thing that the guys that turned out to be the best guys out on the rifle range, some of the best shooters, were people that had never picked up a rifle before, because then they were taught the right way to shoot right from the beginning. And me being from New York, I couldn't shoot unless there was a car door in front of me. So, that was that.
Looks like we have Nate in the webinar.
Who?
Nate.
Where's Nate? Hey, there's Nate.
Hey, how's it going, man? Let's see. How do we get in the beta? Send in a support ticket to help.semeasy.com. Send that to everybody, and just express interest, and add a little bio, and then we'll be in contact with I guess like the little interview or application process. And then we're also going to be doing that for the super secret project.
I see one question here. It says, can I be one of the beta testers with low SEO experience? Well, I'm just going to speak to that member directly. Put in a support ticket. Let us know what your experience level is, and then we'll figure that out.
Yeah, I don't think he has much experience. I know that guy.
Let's see. Is there any reason on IA that the sitemaps are sometimes bigger than others? Does it have an effect on 2,000 posts? No. You know what? The sitemaps sometimes are going to be bigger than others. We've had websites where we have the same exact post, but the sitemaps are just different. And actually, that's really not a bad thing. It's actually a pretty good thing, because once again, if you talk people that get, the people that are the same people that are worried about conspiracy theories in some respects also worry about every single little tiny footprint. So if you have the same website that you're building out that's like, let's say, 300,000 pages, but you're getting mixed numbers of results in your sitemap, that's fine. Once again, a little less of a footprint, which is not a bad thing, and it will spider out the entire site anyway. Doesn't matter. All right. With that being said,
Yep.
Do we have any other questions?
Yeah. Oh well, just the update.
You guys realize that the schema code on your diamond site is showing code on the rendered page. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, we haven't checked that in forever, but you see the updates on the bottom down here. Step 1 out of 7, 2 out of 7, 3 out of 7, 4 out of 7. So that's the update. So alrighty, that's pretty much it, guys. Unless there's any more questions.
It says the diamond site. I'm actually on it right now, but I don't see any code floating out there.
What? What was that, Andrew? Sorry, bounced up.
I'm actually on that site, and I actually don't see any code floating out there, but that's okay. Anyway, guys, a reminder, like I said, the forum and the chat are going to come to a screaming halt. Unfortunately for the free members, we'd love to have you guys on the inside. Let's see. Last minute reminder, if you want to be a beta tester, put in a support ticket. Just give us a little bit of information about yourself. And like I said, the little secret squirrel. Doesn't matter what country you're from, but you got to be, like I said, you got to be a go-getter and willing to produce. And we'll definitely make it worth your while. Jake, you've got anything else?
No, that's pretty much it. About covered it all.
Hold on, we got one more question. If you are using Cloudflare, where should you put the slider? It doesn't matter. You're talking about in reference to index assault. It doesn't matter where the slider is. It all matters about. It all matters about what your server is behind it.
Yeah, if you start running into like memory limits, or you're hitting a PHP timeout limit, then slide it back towards the weaker side. If you're a little cautious, slide it back towards the weaker side. It doesn't mean anything bad. It just means that all it's doing is it's deciding, okay, what the algorithm does is you're saying, okay, I think my server's about this strong, and then on the next page it goes out and figures out how many posts it's going to have to do in total, like how big your sitemap's going to have to be. So if you set a maximum, it's going to go to that maximum. If you set a category, it's going to count how many are in that category. If you're doing a site-wide and you set your maximum to 0, it's going to count the posts in every single category, add them all together, and figure out the total number of posts it needs to go and process. Then based off of where your slider's at, it's going to divide that number of posts by 10 times that slider, and that's going to be how many steps it's going to do in total. And in each step...
I mean, the really easy way, guys, because, I had a hard time wrapping my head around it at the very beginning, okay? If you got something that weighs 500 pounds, okay, it's just, the real question is, if you have a dedicated server that's really ramped up, you can probably pick up the 500 pounds and move it all in one shot. Otherwise, you're going to move the 500 pounds, but you might move it in, whether it be 100-pound increments. So pick up 100 pounds, move it over, put it down, pick up another 100 pounds, bring it over, move it down. Or maybe you have to do it in 50-pound increments or 10-pound increments. Either way, it's all getting moved over. It's just how many times, how many little trips does it need to make? Can it do it in one trip, or does it have to do multiple trips? So you can see right here when it says it's doing step 6 out of 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 out of 7, 7 out of 7. Sitemap is done.
Yep. And
before anybody asks, when you're seeing what all of this is right down here, just click F12 on your computer, and this thing will pop up.
Yep, and you can actually see all the steps it did, and just straight down the line. It did 7 steps of the first process, 7 steps of the second process, and then it was done. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty cool to see it working and stuff, but.
All right, with that said, I think we've been going for almost an hour and a half, maybe a little bit longer, so we're going to cut out. I got a little date tonight with my son and Aerosmith, so we're going to go check them out tonight. Should be a good concert. I'm going to teach my 13-year-old what rock and roll music actually is. Going into a Boston concert, which he actually liked. I can't listen to that crap anymore, Not Boston. I can't listen to his crap anymore. I love Boston. What about macros? Frank, no problem. Bring a walker. What about macros? Actually, next week when we talk about automating your business, I'm going to get into macros. We're going to get into VAs. We're going to get into a bunch of different things.
Yep. And yep, so that's pretty much it. So if you guys are interested in the beta, send in your support tickets. If you're interested in the secret project, send in those support tickets. We'll get in contact with you. And
you make way too much money.
Yeah, Ben, you make too much money, according to Frank.
Did he see my response?
Ben, no, he didn't see your response.
I responded to say, and tell him no, I don't.
He says no, he doesn't. Oh, he says yeah, he saw it. Alrighty.
For dealing with people like Frank, I should be making way more.
Alright, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the webinar. We did. Gonna end it here, and have a great rest of your day.